The coin I'm talking about is the 1986 Lincoln cent. At first glance, it looks no different from the billions of pennies struck in Philadelphia that year. But here's the catch. Some of these coins left the mint missing something crucial, something that seems so small, so easy to overlook, yet it transforms a penny into a life-changing fortune. That tiny detail is the mint mark, or rather, the absence of one dot. Now, before you shrug and think, big deal. Lots of pennies don't have a mint mark. Let me stop you. Because this is no ordinary oversight. This is a story of rarity, of mystery, and of collectors willing to spend unimaginable sums to capture a piece of American numismatic history. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks like the same copper-plated zinc cent you used to slip into a gumball machine. Yet it's worth more than a luxury car, a house, even more than most people's retirement savings. But how did this happen? How could such a simple coin be worth so much? To answer that, we need to rewind. The U.S. Mint produces coins in different facilities, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco being the main ones. To distinguish them, mint marks are added, AP for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. By 1986, pennies made in Philadelphia were supposed to carry a small p below the date on the obverse. But in rare cases, mistakes slipped through the cracks. Some dies were struck without a mint mark at all. And those mistakes, as insignificant as they might seem, created one of the most elusive modern rarities in coin collecting. Think about it. Billions of pennies were minted in 1986. Billions, yet only a microscopic fraction are believed to have escaped without their mint mark. That's why the few verified examples command staggering prices at auction. In one reported case, a pristine 1986 no mint mark Lincoln cent sold for a jaw-dropping $823,000. And that's not a typo. A penny worth 1 cent at face value selling for nearly $1 million. Suddenly, that jar of change on your dresser doesn't look so boring anymore, does it? Now, here's where things get even more fascinating. Coins, like people, carry scars, blemishes, and marks from their life in circulation. Most pennies are scuffed, dirty, or worn down to a dull brown. But the Holy Grail is a coin that has somehow survived in near-perfect condition, untouched by time. Collectors call these mint state coins, graded on a scale from 1 to 70. And when a 1986 no mint mark cent appears in high mint state, say MS65 or higher, that's when the bidding war begins. Let's pause for a second. You might be wondering, why would anyone pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for a penny? The answer is simple. Rarity plus demand equals value. Coin collectors, or numismatists, thrive on the chase. They want what others can't have. The rarer the coin, the more powerful the pull. It's the same psychology that drives someone to buy a Picasso or a rare sports card. The difference is, this treasure might be hiding in plain sight. And that's where you come in. Because right now, there is a non-zero chance that you could own one of these elusive pennies. Maybe it's in your wallet. Maybe it's in a jar you've ignored for years. Or maybe, just maybe, it's already been staring at you every time you dump your change on the counter. The idea that you could unknowingly possess a life-changing fortune is both thrilling and terrifying, isn't it? But how do you know if you've got the right coin? Here's what you need to look for. Take a 1986 penny and flip it over. Look at the date. Just below it, there should be a mint marca tiny P for Philadelphia. If that P is missing, you may be staring at something extraordinary. Of course, not every no mint mark coin is valuable. Remember, some years Philadelphia didn't use a mint mark at all. But 1986 was supposed to, which is why the missing mark makes this coin so extraordinary. Now, here's a little secret. Condition is everything. If your coin has been rattling around in circulation for decades, scratched and dinged, its value will drop dramatically. But if it's in high-grade, bright, lustrous, and nearly flawless, that's when you might be looking at life-changing money. Think about it. A crisp penny from 1986. Saved in a collection, tucked away in a roll, could be worth more than the car sitting in your driveway. And let's not forget the emotional roller coaster this creates. Imagine the suspense of sifting through a pile of coins, heart-pounding, scanning each date and mint mark. Imagine the rush of spotting a 1986 penny, turning it over, and realizing something is missing. That tiny moment of recognition could be worth more than years of hard work. Isn't that the kind of story we all dream of? The discovery that transforms an ordinary day into a once-in-a-lifetime event. Of course, there's also the fear. The nagging thought that you might have spent one of these coins years ago, back when it was just another penny. Maybe you dropped it into a vending machine. Maybe you handed it to a cashier. Maybe you gave away a fortune without even knowing it. That's the haunting reality. Countless treasures slip through people's hands every single day. But here's the good news. It's not too late. Millions of 1986 pennies are still out there, hiding in circulation, tucked into piggy banks, sitting in jars. The question is, will you be the one to find them? Or will you let the opportunity pass you by, only to hear about someone else's discovery years from now and wonder what might have been? Now, I want you to think about the broader picture. This isn't just about money. It's about history. Each rare coin carries a story of human error, of chance, of survival. The 1986 No Mint Mark Lincoln cent is a reminder that even in a system designed for perfection, mistakes happen. And those mistakes become legends. Owning such a coin is like holding a piece of that legend in your hands. It's tangible proof that lightning can strike in the unlikeliest places. And let's be honest, who doesn't? Love the thrill of a treasure hunt. Unlike lottery tickets, which vanish as soon as you scratch them, pennies last. They're durable, they're everywhere, and the cost to check is nothing. Every time you handle change, you're essentially playing a free game with life-changing stakes. Isn't that worth the effort of a quick glance? But let me offer a word of caution. If you do find what you think might be a 1986 No Mint Mark cent, don't rush to spend it, don't clean it, and don't assume you can sell it on eBay tomorrow for $500,000. Coins like this need to be authenticated and graded by professional services like PCGs or NGC. That authentication is what transforms a penny from curiosity to cash. Without it, you're just holding a maybe. With it, you're holding a treasure. So here's the burning question. Is there a fortune hiding in your change? Only one way to find out. Tonight, go to that jar of coins you've been ignoring. Dig through the drawers. Search the pockets of old jeans. Look under the couch cushions. Because somewhere out there, maybe even in your home, lies a 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln cent waiting to be discovered. And if you're lucky enough to find it in mint state condition, you may have just unlocked a 6-figure, even 7-figure windfall. Think about the irony. We live in a world obsessed with digital riches, cryptocurrency, stocks, complex investments. Yet, sometimes wealth hides in the simplest, most overlooked places. A copper-colored disc smaller than a quarter. A coin we've been trained to ignore, to toss aside, to leave on the ground. And yet, for the sharp-eyed and the lucky, that penny could be a ticket to financial freedom. So, as you finish this video, remember, history doesn't just sit in museums. It jingles in our pockets. It hides in our change. And the next time you hold a penny from 1986, take a closer look. Because you may be holding far more than 1 cent too, may be holding the key to a fortune. And here's the final thought. I'll leave you with, the world's greatest discoveries rarely come with fanfare. They come quietly in the hands of ordinary people who dared to look closer. Will you be one of them? Or will you let your fortune slip through your fingers unnoticed? The choice is yours. Imagine holding in your hand a penny so ordinary, so familiar, that you might not even glance twice at it. A simple 1-cent coin, brown with age, perhaps tucked away in a jar or rattling around in the cup holder of your car. Now imagine discovering that same penny could be worth not just a few dollars, not just a few hundred, but hundreds of thousands of dollars. In some cases, close to 1 million. That is the chilling reality of one of the most astonishing numismatic mysteries in American history. The 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. This is not some myth whispered among coin collectors. This is a documented phenomenon. A seemingly ordinary 1988 penny, lacking a mint mark, has stunned experts and shocked collectors worldwide. And while most people toss pennies aside as insignificant, a handful of lucky individuals have turned their pocket change into fortunes that could pay off a house, wipe away debt, or fund a comfortable retirement. So why does this coin exist? And how on earth could something as small as a missing mint mark transform a common coin into a millionaire's dream? That's exactly the journey we're about to take. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could change the way you see every penny in your possession. First, let's set the stage. In 1988, America was on the cusp of great change. Ronald Reagan was leaving office. George H.W. Bush was preparing to step in, and the Cold War was winding down. It was a year of transition, and it was also a year when something slipped through the cracks of the U.S. Mint. That year, pennies were being struck in 2 main locations, Philadelphia, which traditionally used no mint mark, and Denver, which used the famous D. But here's where it gets fascinating. Some coins that should have displayed the P of Philadelphia simply didn't. They came out blank, anonymous, a ghost among pennies. Now, you might be thinking, what's the big deal? It's just a missing letter. But in the world of numismatics, the tiniest anomaly can transform a coin into a treasure. These no mint mark Lincoln cents from 1988 are so rare, so elusive, that they've ignited bidding wars and set records few could have imagined. One pristine example has been reported to sell for an eye-watering $814,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A penny, a coin worth 1 cent, selling for the price of a luxury home. Why would anyone pay such an astronomical sum? The answer lies in the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and demand. First, rarity. Only a small number of these era coins are known to exist, making them essentially modern-day unicorns. Second, condition. Coins graded in top mint state are the ones that capture headlines, because flawless survivors are unbelievably scarce. And third, demand. The allure of turning a penny into a fortune is irresistible. Not just to seasoned collectors, but to ordinary people who suddenly see hope glimmering in the change rattling in their pocket. But here's the kicker. You may already own one. And that thought alone should make your heart race just a little. Because these coins don't announce themselves with fanfare. They don't glow in the dark or sparkle like diamonds. They hide in plain sight, waiting for someone sharp enough, curious enough, or lucky enough to uncover them. Picture this. You're sorting through a jar of old coins, maybe left behind by a parent or grandparent. Most of them look the same, just dull pennies with Lincoln's solemn face. But then your eye catches something different. No P, no D, nothing at all under the date. Just a blank space where a mint mark should be. Suddenly, your hands tremble because you realize you might be holding one of the most valuable coins of the modern era. How many people have unknowingly spent one of these treasures at a gas station, slipped it into a vending machine, or tossed it on the counter with loose change? The thought is terrifying, isn't it? This is where fear meets excitement. On one hand, the idea that you might have let a fortune slip through your fingers is enough to make your stomach drop. On the other, the possibility that you still might find one fuels the imagination with electric hope. What would you do with $814,000? Pay off every bill. Secure your retirement. Maybe finally take that dream trip around the world. And here's where things get even stranger. The 1988 no mint mark penny isn't just about the missing letter. Experts have uncovered dramatic varieties of this coin that make the hunt even more thrilling. Some of these cents feature unusual die characteristics, subtle clues that set them apart from ordinary strikes. A faint doubling here, an alignment issue there. To the untrained eye, these might look like imperfections. To the trained collector, they are golden tickets. Think about it. Millions upon millions of pennies were minted in 1988. Most are worth exactly what you'd expect. 1 cent. But among those countless billions, a tiny handful hide a secret worth hundreds of thousands. It's like a lottery ticket disguised as pocket change. The odds are slim, but unlike a lottery ticket, this one doesn't cost you anything. The coins are already out there, already in circulation, already waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for, and that someone could be you. But don't get too comfortable, because here's a revelation that might shock you. Time is running out. Every year, coins disappear from circulation. They get lost, destroyed, or tucked away into permanent collections, never to see the light of day again. The longer you wait to search, the slimmer the chances you'll stumble across one of these extraordinary cents. Imagine realizing 20 years from now that you had the opportunity, but let it slip away. That kind of regret is almost unbearable. Of course, you might be asking yourself right now, how do I know for sure if I've found the real thing? The answer is careful inspection. You'll want to look directly under the date. A genuine 1988 Philadelphia coin should carry no mint mark at all, not faint, not rubbed off, not scratched away, but completely absent because it was never struck to begin with. Magnification can help, as can comparing with other 1988 pennies side by side. And if you think you've found one, the next step is critical. Get it authenticated. Professional grading services like PCGZs or NGC specialize in confirming whether a coin is genuine. And their certification can transform an interesting curiosity into a certified fortune. No collector is going to hand you $800,000 for a coin unless it's been proven beyond doubt. That's your gateway from discovery to payday. At this point, you might be asking yourself, why haven't I heard more about this? Why isn't it on the evening news every night? The truth is, the world of rare coins often flies under the radar. It thrives in quiet corners of auctions, collector conventions, and specialized catalogs. Those who know, know. Those who don't spend their fortunes at face value. And yet, every now and then, a story breaks through. A headline about a penny selling for 6 or 7 figures shocks the public, sets social media buzzing, and sends millions of people running to their coin jars. Some call it hype. Others call it opportunity. What do you call it? This brings us to the climactic question, the question that could keep you up at night. Do you have one of these pennies right now? Somewhere in your wallet, in your house, buried in a forgotten drawer. Because if you do, and if you take the time to search, you might just join the very small circle of people who struck gold without ever buying a lottery ticket or scratching a card. The 1988 no mint mark Lincoln cent is more than a coin. It's a symbol of hidden wealth, a reminder that extraordinary value can hide in the most ordinary places. It is proof that fortunes can literally slip through our fingers if we don't pay attention. And the beauty of it all is that the opportunity is still alive, still waiting, still within your grasp. So, I'll leave you with this tonight. When you empty your pockets or glance at that jar of change, will you ignore it like you always do? Or will you look closer? Will you dismiss those pennies as worthless? Or will you see them as possible keys to a life-changing discovery? Because somewhere out there, a 1-cent coin worth $814,000 is waiting. The only question is, who will find it next? Imagine holding in your hand a single penny. Something so ordinary, so common, that most of us wouldn't think twice before tossing it into a jar, sliding it across a counter, or letting it slip between the couch cushions. But what if I told you that one particular penny, minted in 2016, could secretly be worth a fortune? What if that tiny copper-colored coin sitting in your pocket change had the power to transform your financial future? Some reports place the value of these elusive treasures at hundreds of thousands of dollars, with certain sales rumored to approach the kind of life-changing figures we associate with winning the lottery. Yes, a penny, worth as much as a mansion. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But stay with me, because the story you're about to hear is very real. And it might just change the way you look at every coin that passes through your hands. This is the story of the 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, a coin so rare, so shrouded in mystery, that it has become one of the most electrifying discoveries in modern numismatics. Let's begin with a simple truth. Coins are never just coins. They are artifacts, miniature works of art, stamped with history and carrying the fingerprints of human error, chance, and fate. Most pennies are destined to spend their lives rattling in jars or disappearing in vending machines. But once in a while, the U.S. Mint produces something unexpected. Something flawed, or unusual, or quietly different from the billions of identical cousins surrounding it. And when that happens, collectors go wild. The 2016 penny is a prime example. At first glance, it looks like any other modern Lincoln cent. The iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the Union Shield on the reverse. But in certain cases, the mint mark, the tiny letter that tells us where the coin was struck, is missing. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. No P for Philadelphia. Just nothing. A blank space where something important should have been. And here's where the magic happens. That tiny absence transforms a 1-cent coin into a prize that can fetch staggering sums. To the untrained eye, it's just a penny. To a collector, it's a jackpot now. Why does this happen? After all, the mint is a highly controlled operation, churning out billions of coins every year with precision machinery. But history has shown us that even the most sophisticated systems can falter. Sometimes a die is prepared incorrectly. Sometimes a mint mark is accidentally omitted. And sometimes only a handful of coins escape the facility before anyone notices. Those lucky survivors enter circulation, hidden in plain sight, until one day, someone discovers them. Imagine the thrill of being that someone. You're counting change after buying a cup of coffee, and suddenly your fingers close around a penny that feels like every other penny except it isn't. Instead of being worth 1 cent, it could be worth $10,000 or $50,000, or in pristine condition, even more. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before we talk about the breathtaking market values these coins can achieve, let's take a quick detour into history. Because this isn't the first time the absence of a mint mark has sparked hysteria. Back in 1982, a famous variety of no-mint mark dimes shook the collecting world. In 1990, the Lincoln cent once again made headlines when certain proof coins were discovered without their mint marks. Each time, collectors scrambled to find examples, and prices skyrocketed. The lesson: when it comes to coins, even the smallest anomaly can become a golden opportunity. Fast forward to 2016, and the story repeats itself. The missing mint mark creates a new wave of excitement. Word spreads. Collectors begin hunting relentlessly. Stories circulate of jaw-dropping auction prices, with reports of sales reaching as high as $403,000 for pristine examples. Suddenly, ordinary Americans people, just like you, begin checking their pocket change with fresh eyes. That 1-cent coin could literally be worth a life-changing sum. Now, let's pause for a second. Have you checked your change drawer lately? That jar in the kitchen? The glove compartment in your car? How many pennies have you let slip through your fingers without a second glance? It's almost unsettling to think about. Every penny you've ever dismissed as worthless could be hiding a fortune. That's the fear. That's the excitement. And that's why collectors call these coins sleepers. They look ordinary. They circulate quietly. But when awakened, their value explodes. So, how do you know if you've found one of these rare 2016 no-mint mark pennies? First, take a close look at the obverse of the coin, just below the date. Normally, you'd see a tiny letter designating the mint location. If it's missing, your heart should skip a beat. But don't celebrate too quickly. Counterfeits exist, and condition matters. Only coins verified by professional grading services carry the credibility needed to command top-dollar sales, and condition is everything. A coin that's circulated heavily, scratched and worn, might still be worth hundreds, maybe even thousands, but the real fireworks happen with coins in mint state condition. Those flawless examples, shiny, untouched, almost frozen in time, are the ones that ignite bidding wars and climb into six-figure territory. Think about that. The difference between a pennyworth pocket change and a pennyworth a new home could come down to how carefully it was handled. Over the years, this brings us to a critical point. If you suspect you have one of these coins, don't just toss it into a coin jar. Don't clean it, don't polish it, and don't take it to a random pawn shop. Instead, safeguard it. Research professional grading companies. Consider contacting a reputable auction house. Because the moment you verify authenticity, you move from speculation to reality, and reality, in this case, could mean life-changing money. Now here's a twist. Some experts debate just how many of these 2016 no-mint mark pennies are truly out there. Are they extremely scarce, with only a handful in existence? Or are there still undiscovered examples waiting to be pulled from circulation? That uncertainty fuels the fire. Every trip to the grocery store, every handful of change from the gas station becomes a small adventure. Will today be the day you strike gold in copper? And let's be honest, There's something almost poetic about it. In an age when we're obsessed with digital wealth, cryptocurrency, stocks, online trading, there's a certain romance in the idea that physical money, the humble penny, could still surprise us. That a coin we overlook daily could secretly be worth more than the average American salary. So, let's return to the numbers. Some sources report verified sales in the tens of thousands. Others whisper of auctions climbing into the hundreds of thousands. And then there are the legendary stories, the ones that say, in pristine condition, under the right market frenzy, these coins have flirted with figures that make your jaw drop. Imagine a coin valued at $403,000 for a penny. 1 cent transformed into more than many people earn in a decade. Of course, not every coin will hit those heights. But the possibility is what electrifies the hunt. It's what keeps collectors searching through rolls of pennies. What motivates ordinary people to take a second look at their pocket change. Because the truth is, you never know. And that brings us to you. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you let it slip away, chalk it up as an interesting story, and go back to ignoring your spare change? Or will you take actions, start searching, start hunting? Think about it. Somewhere out there, right now, someone is about to find one. It might be a retiree rolling coins at the kitchen table. It might be a teenager counting tips after a shift. It might be you. And the difference between finding nothing and finding a small fortune is as simple as paying attention. So, here's the challenge. Tonight, go through your pennies. Pull out every 2016 you can find. Grab a magnifying glass if you need to, and when you hold that coin up to the light, focus on the date. Look just below. Is the mint mark there? Or is it missing? That tiny detail could change everything. In the end, the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln cent is more than just a coin. It's a reminder that value often hides in plain sight. That opportunity can appear when you least expect it. And that sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest potential. So, the next time you're tempted to dismiss a penny as worthless, remember this story. Remember the possibility that in your very hand, you might be holding not just a coin, but a fortune disguised as pocket change. And remember the urgency. Because every day, as coins circulate, as collectors search, the window of opportunity narrows. The question is, will you act before it's too late? Or will you let the chance of a lifetime slip through your fingers with the next handful of change? The hunt is real. The prize is real. And the only thing standing between you and discovery is whether you dare to look.